The sun set low over the swamps, casting elongated shadows that danced on the murky waters. My feet sunk into the damp earth as I trudged through the dense, humid air. Born and raised in these parts, I knew the stories, the whispers of creatures lurking beneath the cypress trees. But tonight was different. A rustle in the palmettos made my heart race. My flashlight flickered, sending eerie shadows swirling around me. The hairs on my neck stood at attention. Lost in thought, I hadn't noticed the gradual silence that enveloped the marsh. The stillness was deafening. Then a bone-chilling howl shattered the air. Panic surged through me as I sprinted towards the familiar lights of my home. Each step echoed in the night, accompanied by the haunting cries that seemed to draw closer with every passing second. Gasping for breath, I reached the safety of my porch, slamming the door behind me. Heart pounding, I peered out the window, only to find the darkness swallowing the once familiar landscape. As the night wore on, my mind raced with the tales my grandmother used to tell, stories of the skunk ape, a legendary creature said to roam these swamps, a beast with eyes that glowed like embers. I brushed them off as childhood fables until tonight, when reality seemed to blur with folklore. The morning light brought relief, but the unease lingered. I sought answers, diving into the archives, uncovering old newspaper clippings detailing sightings resembling what I'd encountered. The legend had lived on through generations, woven into the fabric of this place, a secret whispered among the locals. I shuddered, realizing the truth within those tales. Despite my fright, a newfound fascination gripped me. I dedicated myself to uncovering more about these mysteries, exploring the swamps with cautious curiosity. The encounters faded, but the memories remained etched in my mind, a reminder that sometimes the most chilling stories are rooted in the very ground beneath our feet. The sky darkened, ominous clouds swirling ominously as the first gusts of wind rattled the windows. I'd weathered storms before, but this one felt different, the air thick with tension as if nature itself held its breath. Memories flooded back. I'd grown up in Florida, where hurricanes were a part of life. But this was different. The news had dubbed it a monster, a behemoth swirling its way toward our coast. Boarding up the house, I felt a knot of unease tighten in my gut, a primal fear of the unknown. The power flickered and died, leaving us in a suffocating darkness broken only by the occasional lightning flash that illuminated the chaos outside. The roar of the wind was deafening, the house trembling under its ferocity. Then came the sound I dreaded most, the splintering crack as a tree limb crashed through the roof. Huddled in the hallway, the storm raging around us, fear gripped me as I held my family close. The hours dragged on, each minute feeling like an eternity, the cacophony of destruction outside relentless. Finally, the wind began to ease, the violence of the storm slowly subsiding. Emerging from our shelter, we were met with a scene of devastation. Trees lay twisted and broken, debris scattered like confetti, and the landscape transformed into a chaotic mess. Yet we were among the fortunate ones. The house stood, albeit battered, and we were safe. In the aftermath, as we worked to rebuild and reclaim a sense of normalcy, I couldn't shake the feeling of vulnerability. The raw power of nature had humbled us, reminding us of our fragility in the face of its wrath. But amidst the destruction, a resilient spirit emerged. Neighbors came together, strangers became allies, and a sense of community blossomed from the debris. The storm had left its mark, not just on the land but on our hearts, a reminder of the strength found in unity amid adversity. The air hung heavy with the scent of salt and decay as I navigated the overgrown path, a place locals whispered about in hushed tones, the forgotten Everglades. Growing up in the outskirts of Miami, tales of these untamed swamplands filled my childhood. Curiosity tugged at me, urging exploration despite the warnings. The reeds whispered secrets. The murky waters seemed to hide mysteries untold. With every step, a sense of foreboding settled upon me. The rustling of unseen creatures and the eerie silence sent shivers down my spine. As dusk descended, the shadows morphed into menacing shapes, playing tricks on my mind. Suddenly, a primal fear gripped me, a fear of the unknown lurking in these forgotten lands. Lost in the labyrinthine pathways, panic set in. The familiar landmarks vanished, swallowed by the oppressive darkness. Sweat dripped down my brow despite the evening chill, and a sense of isolation gnawed at me. The chirping of crickets intensified, an eerie chorus that seemed to mock my predicament. The distant howl of a panther pierced the night, sending my heart racing. Hours passed, each minute stretching into an eternity of uncertainty. Desperation guided my steps, but they led me only deeper into the heart of the Everglades. Just as despair threatened to consume me, a faint glimmer of light pierced through the dense foliage. Relief flooded over me as I stumbled into a clearing, discovering a weathered cabin, a remnant of a forgotten era. The sense of salvation was short-lived as the door creaked open, revealing a figure cloaked in shadows. With a voice that echoed like distant thunder, the old hermit welcomed me, offering shelter for the night. Unease settled in, but exhaustion trumped caution. As dawn broke, I awoke to an empty cabin. The hermit vanished without a trace. Returning home, the memory lingered, haunting my thoughts. Rumors circulated, tales of a recluse who had lived and perished in those swamps long ago, a spirit that supposedly roamed the Everglades, guiding lost souls to safety. Whether truth or folklore, the experience left an indelible mark, a reminder that in the depths of the unknown, mysteries and legends intertwine, blurring the lines between reality and myth.